So flexi-wings have the world of F1 in a bit of a wobble right now. But what are the implications and the ins and outs of the junk in the trunk on Christian Horner's Red Bull? I'm Ollie Wilson for GPFans, and before we dive into all things flexi-wings, flex that index finger and hit the subscribe button below. Now let's get into the biggest talking point of the 2021 season off the track so far. So this video is here to get to the heart of the issue of why Red Bull's flexi-wings are so effective. But ask yourself, would it be a true F1 title battle between two teams without a technical controversy along the way? Probably not. Mercedes has kicked up a storm over the so-called flexi or limbo rear wings after onboard footage at the Spanish Grand Prix showed the component on Red Bull's RB16B bending backwards down the pit straight. Now the FIA has brought about changes to its load testing on the wings to ensure all components comply with the technical regulations, but that in itself has caused a storm on both sides. So let's take a look at what flexi wings actually are, why there is such a fuss over them, and who is affected by all of this mess. Firstly, why is Mercedes concerned? So the rear wing leans back a degree. Big deal, right? Actually, it's a huge deal. There is a reason why regulations to stop aerodynamic components from endlessly flexing are brought in. So let's break it down. With a little air resistance through a corner with a low maximum velocity, or Vmax, the wing structure stays mostly rigid and upright because the load exerted from the air resistance is relatively low. Because the wing remains upright, the resistance pushes the wing and the rear of the car with downward pressure or downforce, which equals grip and ultimately cornering speed. Now in a straight line, this downforce effectively becomes aerodynamic drag, which limits the Vmax. This is why slipstreaming is effective, because when a car is tucked in behind another, this air resistance isn't acting upon the second car to the extent of the leading vehicle. When the secondary car pulls out to make the move, the air resistance that then hits the aerofoils attached to it acts like a parachute, which is why the closing speed dissipates, so there is a convergence of the relative Vmax. Where the flexi-wing is such an advantage is on this specific point. Red Bull uses the aeroelasticity of its rear wing to reduce the surface area of the face of the wing in a straight line, thus reducing drag and increasing potential Vmax. Taking advantage of the aeroelasticity, however, the wing returns to a rigid state at lower speed to create the downforce needed through the corners. This means that the team can run with a higher wing setting without being penalised in a straight line. In effect, the flexi wing is a rudimentary drag reduction system, and we all know how powerful that can be. So why are flexi wings a problem? Well, the reason Mercedes is up in arms about the rear wings is that they're technically illegal, although FIA tests have been unable to prove as such. Article 3.8 of the FIA's technical regulations states, any specific part of the car influencing its aerodynamic performance must remain immobile in relation to the sprung part of the car. In order to deal with this, the FIA puts cars through strenuous tests, with a given allowance for the amount any aerodynamic part can flex. Article 3.9.6 demands the uppermost aerofoil element lying behind the rear wheel centre line may deflect no more than 7mm horizontally when a 500 Newton load is applied horizontally. These tests are being altered from the French Grand Prix onwards, but that is not quick enough for Toto Wolff or even Aston Martin team principal Otmar Szafnauer. To design something that flexes just the right amount and to pass the test but still flex takes a big effort, said Szafnauer. But to design something that is stiff doesn't take effort at all, and it can be done very, very quickly. Red Bull isn't the only team affected, so the big boys are arguing, but the fallout has serious ramifications throughout the grid. Ferrari has already indicated it will need to redesign its wings after exploiting the flexi-wing concept, whilst Alfa Romeo boss Fred Vasseur called the introduction of the new tests a joke. Horner stated ahead of the Monaco Grand Prix that the cost of redesigning their rear wing to conform with the new testing procedure could be up to $500,000. In a budget cap era that has already seen Mercedes withdraw from Pirelli tyre testing after surprise expenditure in the wake of Valtteri Bottas's heavy crash in Imola, this could genuinely be strategy changing, especially with the 2022 regulations lurking over every technical director's shoulder, tempting them into switching to 100% focus early. Wolff has warned the Azerbaijan Grand Prix could become messy, with the threat of legal action impending should flexi-wings make an appearance in Baku. With the potential power of the wings down the two long straights at the street circuit, where it has been estimated Red Bull could have an advantage of 0.6 of a second per lap, this story is far from over. So what are your thoughts on flexi-wings? Will they be banished from Baku in just over a week's time, or will Red Bull reap the rewards down those two big long straights in Azerbaijan? Let us know in the comments section below. Hit subscribe to stay with us here at GPFans as we bring you all the twists and turns through this already exhilarating 2021 Formula One World Championship.